All right. Hey, SMA. We have our first guest of the podcast on, Mr. Haster. Welcome to Tea with ASB.
Woo!
Woohoo!
All right, just to get the ball rolling, why don't you tell us about yourself to the students who may not be familiar with you?
Hi, everybody. I'm Mr. Haster, and I've been at St. Mary's for 20 years. Let's see, what can I tell you about me? I'm married, I have two children, I have a daughter who went to St. Mary's, graduated in 2007. Before this, I had lived in Australia for my family lived in Australia for 6 years, and I became an Australian citizen, so I have dual citizenship. Let's see what else about me. I went to college. I was in the Navy for 4 years, and I've loved my time at St. Mary's. It's a great community, and I'm happy to be in Portland.
Mr. Haster, what do you teach for students who haven't had you?
Yeah, so I teach in the theology department, and this semester I'm teaching Hebrew Scripture and social justice.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, I've been one of the students who's been in a few of your classes. I had you all junior year and the first semester of senior year, and I just want to say it was a pleasure. I had the best time in your classes. And my first question for you is, what is your current favorite smoothie recipe?
My current favorite is I'll start with the veggies. I have kale, carrots, and broccoli and cauliflower. On the fruit side, I put in a couple of apples, a pear when I can get it, banana, blueberries. I'm probably missing something. And then I add some coconut milk and pomegranate juice. Oh, almonds, pecans, and walnuts, and 4 ice cubes. And
Are you big on protein? Are you a protein
I,
guy?
I think I tried to have protein in my life, and the plant variety. So I'm not a meat eater. So there's plenty of plants that provide protein. So yes, on the protein.
Mr. Haster, now is that veggie and fruit smoothie? Are those two different smoothies or is that like one big crazy smoothie?
Oh no, crazy! One big crazy smoothie.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. No, I should probably patent my recipe at some point because I think that whoever drinks it, they want more.
You can make like a mean cookbook. I would definitely buy
Oh, yeah.
that.
Definitely, yeah.
It's like a superhero cookbook.
You know what's fun too is I have a sun oven. I made a sun oven. And actually, I had students in one of my classes, my social justice classes, they made sun ovens one year as part of just like the environmental piece of the course. So yeah, sun ovens are really nice to cook recipes in.
Oh, that's really cool. Oh, wait, I've got to ask, with all those crazy ingredients, what kind of blender do you use?
So I use a Vitamix
Oh,
5200.
wow.
I
Fancy.
just I made up the 5200 part. I don't know if that's true, but it just it sounded cooler.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
Great. That sounds like an amazing smoothie.
So our next question, have you read any good books lately?
I'm reading. In fact, I just finished Boys in the Boat, and I'm halfway through it. It Can Happen Here by Sinclair Lewis. So yeah, that's my current book. My problem with reading books is I'll start like 7 books, so I'm not like a one book guy at a time. But I have got into It Can Happen Here, the Lewis book. So it's been nice.
So you start a lot of books before finishing them. Do you
I, d-
ever
I
do you make a point to finish all the books or do you just if you're not into them, do you just kind of not finish it if you don't
yeah, no,
want to?
I make it a point to finish the books because
Mhm.
sometimes I find that authors don't get in their stride until a little bit later on.
Hmm,
So I just think I owe it to the author to finish it. So yeah,
I like that.
That's
What's your favorite genre of book, Mr. Haster?
I'm a big nonfiction person, but
Hmm.
I do like it. It depends on the author, the fiction author. I do like that. Actually, I like poetry, and I asked one of the faculty a couple of years ago to give me some recommendations on poetry. So I've been poetry I like as well, different types of poetry. So
I have to
Have
say,
you
I
ever
do the same thing. I started like a bunch of books at the same time, and then you have to keep them all straight when you pick one up. But then you have to make sure you're not thinking about a different book and getting everything confused.
Yeah. Somebody asked me an interesting question. It was an icebreaker that I think one of the teachers at school used. I thought it was really a clever question. And it was like, what do you use for a bookmark in your books? I thought that was really kind of nice. So I paid attention to my bookmarks ever since then. So the last month, I've been kind of not fixated, but really focused on the kind of bookmarks I use.
Well, Mr.
That's really
Haster,
cool.
oh,
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, like the bookmark thing, I do something similar. And at one point, I got this book from a thrift store, and there was like a little train ticket from Austria in there. And I thought that was really cool.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Next question.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Haster, as many students know, you did live in Australia. What are
Mm.
your thoughts on kangaroos? Or
Uh,
and do
I
you have
think,
any opinions on any other Aussie creatures? Like
yeah,
thoughts on
kangaroo.
Australian animals?
Yeah, Australian animals. There's so many different ones unique to Australia. I suppose, like there is unique to every place. Kangaroos, I like. There are different types of kangaroos, and so I like kangaroos. I like dingoes. Uh, Dogs, they're kind of like wild. They belong to the dog family. And platypus, I like. I've seen some platypus. What else? Cockatoos, wombats, possums. There's koalas. I don't want to leave out koalas. Yeah, there's so many. I think they are so cool. I'm kind of curious just how they evolved. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
why kangaroos and why Australia, kind of a thing. So yeah, so that's I have a lot of favorites.
Have you ever encountered like any of those like crazy animals? I see like those big spiders and stuff all the time that people say are from
They have
Australia.
some big spiders down there.
Yeah, yeah, big spiders. Yes, as a matter of fact, they're pretty much. I lived in Brisbane. My family lived in Brisbane in a subtropical. And so we got a lot of the subtropic kind of spiders, some really big ones that are kind of crawl along your wall at any really fast. They move sideways really quickly. We had the poisonous spider around our house that was pretty common was called the redback. So a black spider with a brilliantly red mark on its back. And they like to nest under things. So they'll crawl up under something and put their nest down, and their nest act like a spring, like a trap. So if an ant would touch one of the webs, the strands of the webs, it would pull it up. So those were poisonous, and they were common. I would have to go out on the patio every day and kind of get rid of the redbacks because they like to hide up under things, as I said. And so if you grab a chair just by the arms of the chair, that's under the arms of the chair. So you have to be careful. And we had small children. So that, yeah, we had different kind of spiders. We had around the house too. Not talking about spiders. We had this a blue tongue lizard. So its tongue is brilliantly blue, and they get up to like 2 feet long. So anyway, yeah, we had spiders.
That's so scary. Like I can barely handle the little spiders that like crawl across the table at my house, but like big poisonous spiders, oh my gosh, it's crazy. Have you had any like other animal encounters? Like have you seen a koala or like a dingo or a kangaroo while you were living down there, just like walking down the street?
Well, not
That
where we were.
happens.
Yeah, we were in an urban area. So most of the animals I mentioned before, I didn't see. I did see. We did have a couple of koalas living um, next door, and but not the wombats and the kangaroos and things like that. They would be more in the rural area. One animal that I did mention we call them fruit bats, and they're these long. They're probably they had the wingspan twice that of a crow, and they would like fly over at night, just like the crows fly over at night, just bunches of these things, and they would roost in the trees. So yeah, mainly koalas next door.
I have a quick question that we didn't tell you in advance, but can you do a pretty good Aussie accent?
No,
No?
I can't. In case there are any real Aussies in the crowd, they would just like, you know how somebody kind of looks at you and then they look away like me and no, that's not right. So I just have words, probably the easiest word is, like "G'day, Mike," like that, and also the pronunciation of a snake. It's like snake, like
Like the
that's like
Outback Steakhouse.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, golly. Yeah, no, my kids. I think my brain was too hardwired to pick up an accent, but my kids can turn on the Aussie anytime.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Okay, our next question is, who is your favorite and your least favorite student? And are any of them in this room, in this Zoom room right now? And I don't know if we want to do like all time or current. Up to you.
Yeah. So probably my favorite student is someone who has curiosity. Yeah, I'm all into that. That's probably my favorite. If people are curious, then I'm on board. Um, and so probably my least favorite student, let me think, my daughter, when she was 5 years old, she used to go around trying to get us to act Anne of Green Gables. And so she would all do this. And so I tried to give her directions once, which it didn't work. So probably my daughter, my least
That's
favorite.
a
Yeah.
great answer.
It's a really good
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
We
Okay,
won't tell your daughter.
this next question is like very important to me. I've been telling this people that I wanted to ask you this for a very long time. But what are your thoughts on aliens, just in
Yeah.
general?
So it's interesting. There is and I don't know his name, but I can give it to you later. He's a Columbia professor at Columbia University in New York City, and he does an amazing job talking about life, whether the possibility of life beyond this planet, and it's fascinating. I think I'm just captivated by his expertise and the way he delivers his thoughts. So I think, and so he. Let's see. I um, I think there's a probability that life, in whatever form it takes exists beyond this. And did you read last week? Did you see this story? I haven't read the details yet, but American Airlines, there was this UFO that was flying next to them, and it's gotten to a level that the FBI is looking into it. Serious. I mean, this is like legit stuff. So I don't know if it was just someone. It was a kite that was traveling real fast, or if it was you know so I think the possibility exists that life exists beyond this planet.
With that article in mind, I'm taking your word for it.
Yeah, seriously, this Columbia professor, I'll email all of you. Do you have your own ASB site? I mean, it's just ASB.
Yeah.
We have an
Okay.
email.
Okay, yeah, email. That's what I meant. I'll send it to you when I find it. I'll write myself a note.
This is a follow-up question for the alien one, but if you were to think of some sort of creature, what do you think your, like, idea of an alien, like, what would it look like?
Like a humanoid type of alien?
I don't know. Use your
Yeah,
imagination.
I think, let's see. I think one that looks kind of like, it has larger eyes because they like to travel at night. I'm guessing. I'm just trying to, they have their extrasensory perception is really developed, so they can intuit, which is kind of a scary people knowing your thoughts. That's imagine that kind of world. Yeah, I don't think I want that. But it's like, yeah. So their senses, as we understand the senses, are highly developed. So they're upright, and they have the ability to relocate. They just think about it and they go, I want to be in Austin. So they're in Austin, Texas all the time.
It's like the ring. Can't remember what movie that's from, but I really remember that sound. I wish I could teleport.
Is that what you think an alien sounds like, Vesna?
Yes.
Scientific
That was
answer.
a really good impression. I mean, we can't know for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, and I guess the last question of this interview is what piece of advice or maybe like what life lesson would you give to your students? Honestly, to anyone in the St. Mary's community.
Yeah, let's see. Love yourself just the way you are.
Facts.
And I think a lot of things in life will hopefully fall in place for you if you love yourself and love what you do. Yeah.
Aw,
That's so sweet.
that's really sweet.
That's a good one.
That was
Alright.
some oh, I was gonna say those were some words of wisdom, and the mic was dropped.
All right. Well, thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Mr.
Thank
Haster.
you.
It was
This is so nice. You are such a good group of people. I enjoy the heck out of your ASB videos. I got to tell you,
Oh.
I'm glad you do that. I know I can't imagine the amount of time and energy that takes to pull those things off, but I do appreciate them on this end. Just to let you know that I think they're great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking the time to meet with us today. It was really awesome having you and hearing all these fun stories about Australia and aliens.
It's good to see you. I wish you all the best of luck as the last, is it 10 weeks for you or 8 weeks, whatever you got left?
99 days till graduation as
Perfect.
of February 26th. I
Oh,
have a
nice.
countdown.
Yeah. Enjoy every minute of it.